Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Heinz Sturm. I'm a citizen of Bonn, and I'm the author of the Bonn Climate Project, which works with hydrogen. I will give you now here, within the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an information about the whole content of the Bonn Climate Project, the case for hydrogen. So as we have drastically problems in the world suffering from CO2, we need a clean energy. And what can be that clean energy? So that is the question. Where can we find clean energy? What is the clean energy? So let's remember to the universe, and let's remember to the first element in the universe. And even on the list of elements, we talk about hydrogen. Hydrogen is everywhere available in the world and in the universe. It is the first element. So nothing else than hydrogen can be the solution for our clean energy. We have to know that finally we talk about water, which switch his status to hydrogen gas and back to water. So it can be only water and hydrogen gas as a universal source for energy and clean energy. On that basis of hydrogen gas and water, I elaborated and start the Bonn Climate Project. A couple of years ago, no, not even a couple of years ago, let's say about 18 years ago. Still focused on hydrogen gas. Here in Bonn, we have since 20 years United Nations framework of climate, or the Climate Secretariat, since 20 years. In that time already, as I'm a Bonner and I'm a citizen of Bonn, I started already with the Bonn Climate Project. As I saw in that time already the need for clean energy and the problems with the environment. And I saw in that time already that we have only water and hydrogen as a solution for our big problems, which comes in the future. Now, today, almost 20 years later, again here in Bonn, we talk about, or we are here in a great event in the COP23, which it seems like will change the world. It starts now a movement, and it accelerates from Bonn, accelerates now activities in climate protection. Well, now let's see how we can move forward. What it needs are actors, and it needs projects which we need to transfer, and of course solutions, technologies, solutions which we need to transfer to the world. And focused also very strong on developing countries, and least developed countries suffering from energy, needing energy as they live off-grid, as they live in rural energies. So that's why the Bonn Climate Project is also focused on the development of Africa and Latin America and developing countries in all the world suffering from energy. So what we will do is we can develop these countries with off-grid energies, with a strong focus on hydrogen gas, on-site production by different technologies, and to use for cooking, for heating, for any kind of energy we need in off-grid areas, and even to switch the hydrogen gas into electricity by a simple gas battery, which is called also a fuel cell. All that do not need any electric grid. So again, the principal focus is on that countries in Africa, Latin America. By the development with clean and affordable energy in form of hydrogen gas on-site production, the climate protection focus is free of charge. It's extra without any cost. So that we have to think about and that we have to manage it. As we are talking about, let's say, poor countries, which cannot invest in climate activities, but which needs to invest into energy infrastructure. To the Bonn Climate Project, so that's why also the Bonn Climate Project is a strong focus on agriculture, which is the basic of life in such countries. Forestry, agriculture, fishery is their work, is their income, and is their source of energy where we get the hydrogen from. Is it working? Yeah. Does it work? Yes. Yes? All right. So the solution definitely is on-site production of synthetic gas and then a hydrogen gas from gasification of agriculture or biomass waste. That is one source to produce hydrogen gas for a low price, for cheap price. There exist other technologies like splitting water by electrolyzer, solar technologies, which is in a moment not affordable enough for that countries. That's why I recommend for Africa and for such countries, developing countries, hydrogen gas from gasification or steam reforming of biomass waste. Talking about the technologies, most of such technologies of hydrogen, gas and fuel cells coming from Germany. I see here in the audience somebody from Asia. I would say from Japan, yes. Japan also is one of the suppliers of such technologies. And we share projects together with Japan and with Korea, here in Germany. We are, let's say, the leader of such technologies in the world, these three countries. So what we need to do is we need to work together to develop such countries with our technologies in hydrogen gas and in fuel cells. For that, joined with that, a joint demonstration project, I established the Climate Technology Center Bonn. You will see it on the folder. May you have also that one? Yeah. The Climate Technology Center was established already 5 years ago. I am a and I am the proponent in that time. In 2012, I was the proponent of the worldwide competition of the United Nations Secretariat of Climate, UN Secretariat Bonn, of the competition to host the Climate Technology Center. I was that proponent from Germany in that time, beside 8 other countries from the world. Now, today, we have a very important Climate Technology Center in Bonn, directly in the vicinity of the UN headquarters for climate change. We work together already. What we will do now is, of course, we have the most advanced technologies available in Germany, especially also in Germany, in North Rhine-Westphalia, in our province or in our state where we are. This is very important to know. And in that province, Bonn is the focal point for all the climate activities. From Bonn, we can, let's say, change the world in climate activities that we should do. And one of the key for such work is the Climate Technology Center Bonn, where we have a showroom, an exhibition, a training center, education center for all that technologies and holistic energy systems based on hydrogen gas fuel cells. How to produce hydrogen gas, how to storage, how to transport, and finally, how to use for residential use or for the transport sector. Looking again to Japan, many cars running already in Japan from Toyota with hydrogen fuel cells. In Korea, Hyundai. In Germany, they start. All of them are here already. Now the hydrogen society and the hydrogen economy starts. The use for the transport system is just, we need a filling station, we refill our cars within minutes, and the journey continues. So the hydrogen society starts. And the second, as I mentioned before, we use hydrogen, clean hydrogen gas for residential use, for the industry, for any industry as a basic, as a feedstock, and for the transport sector. For any kind of vehicles. All these vehicles are cars, tractors, trucks, public buses, train, boats. In the future we have already further drones, small airplanes, whatever you can imagine, submarines, all of them are available in demonstration with hydrogen gas and fuel cells. The focus on the Climate Technology Center is such demonstration, holistic demonstration. How we can manage the hydrogen gas on site to produce, as I mentioned, to produce and to bring it into the car or into the residence. In a moment, it is a kind of demonstration and market, to prepare the market. And of course, it needs education in such sectors and information to the citizens, to the population. So this is the work of the Climate Technology Center and is a very important part of the Bonn Climate Project. The world suffers, and participating since many years in the climate conferences here in Bonn and in some other countries, and speaking with participants, all of them waiting since almost 20 years or longer for general solutions. and all of them are focused on a solution for the development of the poor countries, off-grid, for the development of rural areas. And they suffer. And we suffer because there are not enough projects available which we can implement to the market. And especially, we need holistic projects. And of course, the world needs, finally, the energy which we can use all over the world in any place without off-grid as a clean energy, on-site production. For that reason, all that is implemented in the Bonn Climate Project. That's why I'm here, to give you some first short information about and to cooperate with you and your countries and to push climate activities from Bonn to the world. So this is my first short information to the audience, and it will be now a pleasure to give you any information and any answer in your questions you will give to me now. Thank you very much. Is there a question?
Thank you.
Please, please.
Well, of course, I know hydrogen is very important. It could be a new future fuel. How do you solve that? It's very expensive to produce hydrogen. Have to produce where understand well we will produce helium.
Not only we can produce it from renewable energies, for example from solar power, from wind power, from water power, to split water by electrolyzer. This is one of the sources, or by chemical reaction. But I'm sure about that the best production of hydrogen gas will be, in the near future, the steam reforming of biomass waste, of any biomass waste. That is the solution. If you do that in big reactors, you will get the hydrogen gas for a few cents per kilowatt hours. And finally, all the waste in the world disappear because we reuse the waste, which the main content is biomass of any waste. That's why we reuse, we get back all the four main elements which are inside the biomass, which is carbon, hydrogen gas, oxygen gas, and nitrogen gas. We get back all minerals content of the biomass, and we get back the water. And finally, there is no more landfill in the future because we reuse it always. It is a kind of metabolism. And by that way, you produce the hydrogen gas for a very low price. And this is especially for the poor countries in Africa and all over the world. I would say the best solution, because the poor people can even can collect and can sell the waste to the hydrogen plant. So the Bonn Climate Project is a social political project. It is not only focused on profit, no profit for the poor people. It is a profit for the poor people. It is focused on that. It is a social, political, economical project. And that we need to develop the countries, to reduce poorness, and even to reduce the flight of the people to all over the world, to Europe, suffering from hunger, suffering from no water, suffering from everything, and that's why they fly. And of course, principal suffering from energy in the rural areas. If they have an energy there, they do not need to fly away. And that is the reason, or the basic and the sentence, the deep sentence of the Bonn Climate Project, as this social political active. We can only deliver technologies which deliver finally affordable energy, especially for poor countries. And on that we have to focus. Of course, other technologies, maybe in the desert, with solar power to split water by electrolyzer and solar power, of course, are also to recommend, as there are no waste. It's just the desert. Or maybe on the coast, where it is windy, we can use wind power to split the water. So it depends to the country and to the region and to the province and to the source of main energy we have as biomass. Finally, is storage, solar power, and that we have to see, and we have to focus on that to choose the correct technologies. And for such demonstration, holistic demonstration projects, we need the Climate Technology Center, where we collect all the different technologies to an holistic project, to perform holistic projects, and to transfer later such holistic projects and energy systems to the world. I can't listen perfectly. May you can use the micro, please.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Oji Hitomi. I'm from Japanese trading company, Sumitomo. We do have lots of relationship with Toyota, Komatsu, or many other Japanese companies, and not only Japanese companies. We're working on ocean windmill farm in Belgium, and we're looking into of course, the energy storage. And naturally, hydrogen is one of our interests, looking at developments in the Toyota cars and all that. So my question was, being based in Brussels, I know that there is EU initiative, innovative project, and what was the name? Fuels
FCH.
FCH, yes.
Exactly.
What's your relation?
You join under thank you. Yeah, you can find me also on their website. Yes.
What's your relationship with them? With them as a climate technology center?
Well, look, I have a very good relationship to all the network in Europe and especially in Germany. And since I am active almost since 20 years in the hydrogen fuel cell sector, and all of them are well known, and I'm strongly active in that sectors, and I know all of that guys. So fuel cell hydrogen joint undertaking, in the moment we start now education and information, and education, yes, in the hydrogen sector, in the Climate Technology Center. They will announce it maybe today or tomorrow. It's called a No High Education Program, which is for the whole European country, or for whole Europe, and which is finally financed by the FCH Yodu. They will give that announcement today, maybe tomorrow. Yes, and so even with them, yeah. So, Energy Agency North Rhine-Westphalia, or what else? The European Hydrogen Association, or the International Panel of Hydrogen. All of them are well known. I'm in contact with them, and yeah, let's see that we push activities and push hydrogen economy and hydrogen society in the world. And Sumitomo, as your representative of Sumitomo, I invite you to share the Bonn Climate Project, to be in cooperation with us. And coming back to the transport sector, I will give you here another project of the transport with boats and ships maybe you can use that, with a water bus concept for 25 passengers, using a hydrogen fuel cell and a metal hydride storage, and yeah, which we start now immediately. And let's share the project, perhaps, with Sumitomo. And you see, as we are strong focused also on the transport sector. What the transport sector needs are holistic systems of hydrogen, where on-site production of hydrogen, storage in between storage of hydrogen, then the filling station for different vehicles in 350 bar, in 700 bar or lower for boats and ships, for example. The filling station and all that belongs together, and then we will get immediately success when we have that holistic solutions. And I know, of course, I know the hydrogen cars from Toyota very well. I ride on them many times in a couple of last 5-6 years. And Toyota is also in that network of hydrogen, let's say, companies here in Europe and in Germany promoting, in the moment, hydrogen filling stations. And once the filling stations are available, immediately the cars are there and the hydrogen society starts.
How do you see the cost factor of all this? It must be expensive. Toyota Mirai is also expensive at this of today.
Yeah, the Toyota Mirai is also expensive, but let's say, let's start with the hydrogen price on the filling station. In the moment, they charge €9.50 per kilo hydrogen gas, which let's say covers 100 kilometers of a ride of your car. So less than €10. Well, it's a standard price which we normally spend for our gasoline. Is it right? Per 100 kilometers. So this is the same price. And so finally, what needs to be reduced is only the price of the vehicles, of the cars, for example. And recently I saw that Toyota now offers their cars for about 60,000, 65,000 euro, is it right?
Something, yeah.
And within the next couple of years, hopefully, they will reduce that price drastically, and then we can immediately buy such cars. Or from Hyundai, your friend, Hyundai.
If you say you can also produce hydrogen from biomass, yes, it's good, because compared to electrical vehicles, electric cars, EV, are electricity sourced, and hydrogen cars are not, if only they are available from biomass source also. But how do you see in the future, economically, would hydrogen be really produced, and hydrogen filling stations, which are very expensive, I understand,
yes,
rather than the electrical stations that you can find here in everywhere? I haven't talked so much times with Toyota friends, but
that's true.
They also, of course, they are focusing on Toyota hydrogen, but they have to start electrical vehicles to win the competition worldwide. But
they are different. Of course, there is another source which we do not need to forget: the reforming of natural gas into hydrogen. Yes, it is very important. In that moment where we have natural gas grids, yes, it is easy to transport, and we have a
LNG, CNG.
Yes, LNG or CNG. You know the difference, yes?
Yeah.
And then we can produce also on-site by reforming our hydrogen gas, by reforming natural gas to hydrogen gas. It's a very important source. And we even use the carbon which we catch, or we store it or we reuse the carbon. So even that is a good business for let's say petrochemical companies or for the gas suppliers. And we can manage it on site, which is very important. Instead of delivering by truck several times a day to refill the filling station, which is a little bit difficult. So on site, another way of perhaps is green hydrogen from wind power, splitting on site in an electrolyzer, which is also now available, such technologies, a little bit more expensive. Or delivering, or the petrochemical suppliers and plants deliver it on site by truck or by railway access. And so let's see. But I'm sure that the price will reduce drastically within the next couple of years. I heard about that they make calculation for lowering the price drastically. And so hopefully we have maybe then per 100 kilometers a price of 7-8 euro per kilo hydrogen, which is, let's say, finally affordable for us.
Thank you. And another, sorry, the last question maybe.
Please.
You talked about African projects.
Yes.
Do you have any concrete projects in Africa? Or?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, you do. Where are they? Which country? Or?
Yes. We start now to elaborate a big project for Africa, as the Bonn Climate Project is very strong focused on the developing of such countries. We will start, or we started already, as a concept node for Ghana in Africa, for big city in Ghana, a hydrogen society as a concept.
Which city in Ghana?
It's Kumasi.
Kumasi?
It's Kumasi.
North, huh?
Yes, the mayor of Kumasi will be here during the COP23.
When is it?
On that day.
It doesn't matter.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'll check later.
Yeah, we need to share later our contacts. Yes, I can inform you, as I'm the coordinator for that program, and I'm the advisor and coordinator for him, for the mayor of Kumasi. And this is a very important first project, the Kumasi Hydrogen Project, which we will present to the audience during the COP23. And for Kumasi, 3 million inhabitants, you can imagine a hydrogen society. To switch to the hydrogen will take, of course, many years, maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years. But a very important principle of first project for Africa. And we start the work within a couple of next few months with many experts. In Germany, we start all that work with, let's say, 25, 30 experts to perform the Kumasi hydrogen program, which even will take maybe 1.5 to 2 years, the planning of that. And then comes the financing and the implementation. But it is a very strong focus. And also in other countries now in Africa. They will also share the Bonn Climate Project and needs also our technologies and our solution.
Is it related to G20 initiative in Hamburg from German government? I heard that Germany was thinking, I didn't get the results of the discussion of G20 in Hamburg about African aid.
Yeah, the Bonn Climate Project already mentioned and thought about before the G20. Yes, since I started it since almost 20 years, strongly focused. Not yet we work together with G20, but hopefully they will come to us and share the project as they're searching for solutions. The problem with refugees is increasing, and once they have energy technologies in such countries, it will reduce the poverty, and it will reduce the reason to fly away. So G20, all the countries of G20 also are invited to share Bonn Climate Project, as it is a holistic general solution and what the world needs. And
Yeah. Thank you very much.